Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Om Ajnanatimiraandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namini. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Desatarini. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. My humble obeisances to all the devotees at Singapore. Today we'll discuss the importance of cultivating some virtues that enable us to chant the holy names of Lord Hari. Chanting Krishna's names is considered one of the foremost process of reaching the lotus feet of Krishna, especially in this age of Kali. Kali Kale Namarupi Krishna Avatar. In Kali Yuga, Krishna appears in the form of holy name. And Krishna himself appeared in the form of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to spread the process of chanting that holy names. The process of chanting Krishna's names is so spiritually potent that Nama takes us to the abode of Krishna, gives us Krishna Prema. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. The ecstasy that a devotee feels in sincere chanting of Krishna's names surpasses the oceanic ecstasy of merging into impersonal Brahman. Brahmananda, supposed to be giving some Ananda, but that Brahmananda is insignificant in comparison to the Ananda one derives by chanting names of the Lord. Srimati Radharani also feels that ecstasy in chanting Krishna's names. Rupa Goswami writes, Tunde Tandavini Vitanute Tundavali Labdhaye Karna Kroda Kadambini Ghatayate Karnarbhute Bhespraha Cheta Prangana Sangini Vijayate Sarvendriyanam Kritim No Jane Janitaki Adbhiravrtai Krishneti Varanadvayi Tunde Tandavini Ratim Vitanuti means when the holy name of Krishna is dancing on the tongue of a devotee desires millions of tongues. One tongue is not sufficient to relish the sweetness of Krishna's names, I need millions of tongues. And 2 years are not sufficient to relish the sweetness of Krishna's names, I need millions of years. This is the experience of someone who sincerely chants Krishna's names. This realization is very difficult to attain in sadhaka stage, sadhana stage, where 16 rounds also becomes very difficult for us to chant. Bead bag appears very heavy, although it's not so heavy, but still hands just go down. Phone doesn't appear heavy, even if you hold for 10 hours. But bead bag, even if you hold for 2 hours, it appears so heavy. That's the nature of a struggling sadhaka. But in contrast to this weakness of a struggling sadhaka, we have great devotees like Rupa Goswami and many other great souls. They feel like having millions of tongues and millions of ears to relish the sweetness of Krishna's name. No jane janita kiyadbhiramrtaihi krishneti varnadvayi. These 2 varnas, Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. You don't know how much nectar is embodied within these 2 syllables. Krishna. Madhura madhura metan mangalam mangalana sakala nigamavalli satphalam chitsvarupam sakrdapi parigitam shraddhaya helayava bhruguvara naramatram taraye Krishna naman. Madhura madhura metan. Of all the sweet things, the sweetest thing is the holy name of Krishna. Mangalam mangalanam. Of all the auspicious things in this world, the most auspicious thing is Krishna's name. Sakala nigamavalli satphalam chitsvarupam. If you compare all the scriptures with a valli, a creeper, a devotional creeper, a spiritual creeper, holy name of Krishna is the ripened fruit of that creeper. Sakrdapi parigitam. Even if you chant once with sincerity, Shraddhaya helayava. Even if you chant without sincerity. Shraddhaya means with faith, with eagerness. Helaya means with neglect, unconsciously, casually chanting. Sakrdapi parigitam Shraddhaya helayava bhruguvara naramatram tarayet Krishna. Krishna's name will only protect us, liberate us from this material existence. That's the power of the name of Krishna. Not an ordinary process. Chanting the name of Krishna is not an ordinary process which should never be taken for granted. What helps us to chant Krishna's names constantly, eagerly, enthusiastically, and sincerely? What helps us get absorbed in the process of chanting? If you are feeling that my chanting is not up to the mark, how many of you feel that? My chanting is not up to the mark, I need to improve. Okay. I offer my humble obeisances to all of you. And specifically to those who did not raise their hands. But what enables us to chant nicely? We need to cultivate 4 qualities. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu recommends that if we cultivate these 4 qualities, we can chant constantly with eagerness, with taste. One more thing, why can't we chant properly? Why there is lack of taste? Although we hear so many glories of the holy name, although we speak the glories of holy name, why can't we chant sincerely? Why don't we feel that eagerness or happiness in chanting? The answer is Vaishnava Aparadha. We commit offenses to devotees. Many other offenses. Amongst all the kinds of offenses that one can commit, Vaishnava Aparadha is most dangerous. And because of offenses to devotees, we won't be able to chant properly, despite knowing the glories. I'm speaking for myself too. How to overcome these offenses? Again, these 4 qualities only. So, to destroy the distaste in chanting or to destroy the offensive attitude we have, we need to cultivate 4 qualities. Tranadapi sunichena, tarorapi sahishnuna, amanina, manadena. That will help us kirtaniya sadaharihi. So these 4 qualities will help us to chant Krishna's name sada, always Hari's names. Let us try to discuss these 4 qualities as much as humanly possible in 50 minutes. Trinadapi sunichena. Trina means a blade of grass. This is not exactly grass, but see, something like that, something similar. Just imagine this to be a blade of grass, right? Not yet, but somewhat similar. Be humbler than this. This is what Mahaprabhu says. Be humbler than a blade of grass. Why we are being compared to blade of grass? Why we are recommended to become lower than a blade of grass? Because a blade of grass is on the ground. And even if somebody stamps on it, it cannot protest. People keep on stamping on it. Do you ever have lawns in front of your homes or in front of temples or wherever? You sit on the lawns, right? Hundreds and thousands of people sit on the lawns, walk over the lawns, grasses. Did you ever find any blade of grass protesting or harming you, trying to protest, trying to say, hey, don't stamp on me? Don't you have common sense? Just imagine, you put your leg on someone's head, you put your feet on someone's head, even if it's changed head also, if you do that, they'll get offended. Hey, what is this? Forget putting your leg on someone's head. Even if your leg touches someone by mistake also, immediately you do like this, right? I'm sorry. Do you do that with grass? How many times you walk on grass? With chappal. Have you seen kids jumping up and down on grasses? Playing, doing somersaults, all kinds of things they do. Sometimes dogs pass through on these lawns, on these grasses. So if by touching your foot to some other human being, they get offended or you consider it an offense, you beg forgiveness, how many times we have to beg forgiveness from blades of grasses? How many times we have trampled grasses under our feet, under our shoes? Did we ever say sorry? Did we ever beg forgiveness? No, never. That thought never even entered our minds. Even after reading this sloka every day. I must go and say sorry to these grasses. Hundreds and thousands of grasses I have trampled under my feet, but I never said sorry. Because grass is very humble. Mahaprabhu says you should be humbler than a blade of grass. Not humbler like a blade of grass. It's not Tranad Iva Sahishna. It's not Tranad Iva Sunichena. It's Tranadapi Sunichena. Humbler than a blade of grass. Because it's very natural for a blade of grass, to not protest, to not retaliate, to not complain, even if somebody tramples on it or whatever. That is its natural constitutional position. But why a Vaishnava is recommended to be humbler than a blade of grass? Grass is insignificant, therefore it doesn't protest. Humbly bow down. But a devotee is not insignificant. Devotee must have done significant service to Krishna, significant service to the Vaishnavas, very accomplished, maybe very talented, very knowledgeable, could be very famous also. Despite all that, you don't consider yourself significant. That is Tranadapi Sunichena. That is being humbler than a blade of grass. Blade of grass is insignificant. Being humble is very natural. But you are very significant. Still, you don't consider significant. That is humility. Therefore, Mahaprabhu said, be humbler than a blade of grass. But Prabhupada says, no, not being humbler than a blade of grass. Be humbler than a straw on the street. At least, blade of grass is green. An opportunity to grow is there. It can still stand up. Like this blade of grass is there. If someone just stamps on it, it bows down. As soon as you release your leg, you take your step away, it again stands up, erect. Right? And it grows, it's green. But straw on the street is disconnected from the ground, not green, brown or yellow or whatever. There is no opportunity to grow. There is no possibility to retaliate or protest or complain or take revenge. We should be humbler than that straw on the street. What does it mean to be humbler than a blade of grass or straw on the street? Answer is, we should not be proud. We should not consider ourselves so great. We should not be overwhelmed with our accomplishments or our power, position, influence, greatness, fame, talents, skills in this world. Money, beauty, education, scholarship. Don't take pride in it. Consider that whatever I have and whatever I am is only by Krishna's grace, only by Vaishnava's grace. Real humility is Krishna is the Supreme Lord, He is most significant, and I am insignificant in comparison to Him. That is real humility. Real humility happens only on a spiritual plane. On a material plane, humility is many times a strategy. Right? People are humble to get things done or to sanction their applications. Hey, Captain, application? Humble. Please pass the application. Oh, he's very humble. Let's sign. Whatever respect they show, we don't doubt everybody, but many times it happens. Humility is not inferiority complex. Humility is not self-pity. Humility is not another form of self-absorption, being overwhelmed by our own insignificance or disqualifications or shortcomings. Humility is the natural constitutional position of every single soul. In fact, our acharyas say, dainya is non-different from prema. Means humility is non-different from love of God. The more you are mature in Krishna prema, the more humble you are. Amongst all the devotees of Krishna, whose prema for Krishna is the topmost? Tell me. Radharani, right? She is the topmost devotee of Krishna. So she has the topmost humility. So much humility that she says, Krishna, this devotee is better than me, can do better service than me. Please accept this devotee at your lotus feet. Please give this devotee your shelter. That is the mood of Srimati Radharani. She considers herself inferior compared to another devotee. Although all the gopis are her expansions, she says, Krishna, please accept these gopis. Allow them to serve you directly. They are assisting me. No, let me assist them. Let them serve you directly. That is her mood. But struggling sadhakas, immature sadhakas, they feel that I will serve, let them assist me. Nothing wrong. Sometimes for all practical purposes you may have to do, but I am talking about the mood. Even if you take help or assistance from others, that should be done as a matter of practicality of the situation, but not a sense of superiority complex. You can receive service, but receiving that service from others should be in a mode of dependence. Once one devotee receives service from another devotee, you know what is the mode of receiving this service? I am so insignificant, I cannot maintain myself, I am dependent on them. But if this devotee feels that I am superior to them, they are supposed to serve me, And there is a conflict in the understanding of the position of a devotee. Even while receiving seva or rendering seva, we are supposed to be humble. Understand our mutual dependence on each other. Another aspect of humility is you don't expect others to be humble in front of you. You be humble in front of them, but we should not expect others to be humble. Of course, if you happen to be a teacher or a mentor or a counselor or a caretaker or a guide in someone's spiritual life, if they are compromising on the virtue of Vaishnava humility, you can help them cultivate it by giving them some direction, guidance. But that should be done in the mode of service with humility. Even while inculcating humility on a younger one, we have to be humble. It should not be done with arrogance. Sanatana Goswami, our discussion on humility cannot be complete without discussing about Sanatana Goswami. Look at him there. See that picture? 1, 2, 3, 4. Fourth painting. With a blade of grass between his teeth, he is falling at the feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Dante Trinadhari. Another time, Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami together met Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They said, Niche Jati, we are coming from a very poor background. Niche Sangi, we are associated with fallen people. And we are serving them. He was in Nawab Hussain Shah's government. We are serving meat eaters. We are engaged in all kinds of unmentionable activities. We are so fallen. Oh Lord, you are Patita Pavan. Make your name Sarthaka. Make your name meaningful by delivering us, by uplifting us, by showing mercy upon us. This is Daimya, humility. Krishna can tolerate lack of skills, lack of resources, lack of abilities, even lack of common sense also. We may not be very smart in doing things in his service. But Krishna cannot tolerate lack of humility. If you are proud and arrogant, Krishna doesn't like it. The holy names of Krishna are best chanted in the mode of humility. A beggar. We need to beg Krishna, please give me mercy. By chanting Krishna's names, we can cultivate humility. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said this. He said, in the shloka it's mentioned, Trinadapi Sunichena, then Kirtane Sadahari. If you are humble, you will be able to chant always. But Mahaprabhu also said, to cultivate humility, you need to chant. Chanting Krishna's names will increase our humility, and being humble helps us chant Krishna's names. How? Let me tell you some stories. Story of humility. There is this devotee, Vasudeva, Brahmana. He used to live in South India. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu just began his South India Yatra. He came to a place called Kurma Kshetra. He met Kurma Brahmana. He blessed him with his association. And he proceeded on his Yatra. This Vasudeva devotee Vasudeva Brahmana, he heard that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to visit Kurma Brahmana. So with great eagerness and enthusiasm, he came running to Kurma Brahmana's home with a desire to take darshan of Lord Chaitanya. But by the time, Lord Chaitanya already left. He felt so bad, so disappointed, devastated. And by the way, this Brahmana Vasudeva had a disease called leprosy. And he had so many wounds are oozing sores all over his body. Blood and pus are coming out of his body. He is so humble that when an insect or a fly comes on his body to drink that blood, he allows it to. allows it to drink. But when the insect falls from his body, then he will pick up that insect, place it back on the body very carefully, not to hurt the insect, and he releases his hand so that the insect continues to drink his blood or pus. He is so humble that if some living being is surviving from these oozing substances from my body, let me be of some service to this insect. That is the mood of this Vasudeva leper. So such a humble devotee came to see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but Mahaprabhu was not there. He was lamenting. He was feeling so disappointed. But Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not different from Krishna, and he is the Paramatma in the hearts of all living beings. So he understood that one devotee is lamenting for me. He is feeling so bad for missing my darshan. Let me go and give him darshan. So Mahaprabhu did not proceed in the South India Yatra. No one had sent him an SMS. He did not know the live location of Vasudeva leper. And his South India Yatra was not being live streamed also. No, 2 cameras are in front. Mahaprabhu, no camera, but he understands. He came back to Kurma Brahman's home. He saw Vasudeva leper lamenting there. And Vasudeva leper saw Lord Chaitanya. He felt, Mahaprabhu, we came. Mahaprabhu did not just come. He embraced Vasudeva leper. Because of this disease and blood and pus all over his body, because of the foul smell coming from his body, people will not even come near him. But Mahaprabhu did not just come near him, he hugged him tightly. All the blood and pus on his body touched Mahaprabhu's transcendental body. Can you just imagine? And Mahaprabhu had no hesitation. In another context, Sanatana Goswami also had this blood and pus all over his body, and Mahaprabhu was embracing him also. But Sanatana Goswami was feeling very uncomfortable. Oh Lord, you are transcendental, why are you touching me? I am so fallen soul, I am diseased. Because of my sinful activities, I developed this disease. I think I am offending you by allowing this blood and pus to touch your transcendental body. Then Mahaprabhu said, if a small infant baby passes stool or urine in mother's lap, will the mother be offended? In fact, mother will be ecstatic. Not that her dress is contaminated, but she feels that my child is passing stool means he is digesting the food nicely. So that stool is like combination of agaru, musk, and camphor, and all kinds of fragrant substances for mother. I don't know how many mothers can relate with it. Mahaprabhu said it. I am repeating his words. Right? But Chatushma, technically it is called Chatushma, combination of 4 fragrant substances. That is the affection of a mother. But Mahaprabhu has the affection of 10 million mothers put together. Saundarye Kamakoti Sakala Jana Samahladane Chandrakoti Vatsalye Matrakoti Tridashavitapitopyadbhutaudarya Koti Gambhirye Bodhikoti Madhuramani Sudhakshiravadhvika Koti Gauro Devasajiyat Pranaya Rasapade Darshitascharya Koti. Prabodhananda Saraswati glorifies Lord Chaitanya saying that he is Vatsalya Matra Koti. Koti means 1 CR. 10 million. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is very affectionate towards his devotees, that his affection is compared to the affection of 10 million mothers put together. And with that motherly affection, he embraced Vasudeva leper. And by the touch of the divine body of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Vasudeva leper's body became very healthy. All his wounds are gone, blood and pus disappeared, and he developed a very strong, well-built, beautiful, handsome body. Then, this devotee who received this special blessing from Lord Chaitanya, both on a spiritual plane and material plane, externally speaking, he got a beautiful body. Not exactly material, but externally, visibly, he had a beautiful body. But internally, spiritually, he was nourished by Mahaprabhu's darshan. That's why Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says, Dhanyam tam navami chaitanyam vasudevam dayagradhi nashta kushtam rupa pushtam bhakti tushtam chakarayah. Dhanyam tam navami chaitanyam. Dhanyam. What great fortune, what great fortune. Vasudevam dayagradhi. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is extremely merciful upon on Vasudeva leper. Nashta kushtam. By his grace, Vasudeva leper's kushta, kushta means leprosy is gone. Nashta kushtam. Rupa pushtam, he got a very beautiful body, form. Bhakti tushtam, and his devotion is also nourished. Three things he got. Nashta kushtam, Rupa pushtam, Bhakti tushtam. He became very conscious. Oh Lord, I got this special mercy from you. Now, I am very, very concerned that I may become proud of receiving your mercy. Whenever a devotee receives some blessing from the Lord, either on a spiritual plane or a material plane, externally or spiritually, that could cause some pride in the heart of an immature devotee. So, he became very concerned. He said, Oh Lord, how can I develop humility? How can I not become proud? Because you gave this special mercy, I may become proud. And even if I don't, after you leave, hundreds of people will surround me. They will start worshipping me. They will clap, they will whistle, they will offer garlands, they will offer dandavats. They will praise me, they will appreciate me that I am such a great devotee, I am this, I am that. I may become proud. Devotee should have so many concerns, but one of the foremost concerns that every devotee should have is, I should not become a victim of pride. When we receive appreciation from others, even though they are genuine in their expression, if we take it to heart, if we take it so seriously, we can become proud. Of course, acknowledge their genuine expression. Thank them for encouragement. See it as a feedback for the service you have done, and take some encouragement and continue your good service. To that degree, we can handle appreciation. But the credit for that appreciation, we must humbly transfer to Jagannath, Prabhupada, Mahaprabhu, Krishna, Acharyas, Guru, Vaishnavas, Parampara. Just transfer credits to them. If you take it to us, then if you don't humbly and honestly transfer the credit to the Acharyas, and if we take it to our heart and if we consider, yes, I am the doer, then that can cause great arrogance and pride. In fact, by passing on the credit for the appreciation that we receive to Acharyas and Parampara and the Lord, we are being honest, not even being humble. You have to be honest. First you be honest, then you can become humble. Right? It's honesty, it's modesty to acknowledge Krishna's grace upon us and transfer the credit of our accomplishments to them. So this Vasudeva leper said, my dear Lord, I can become proud. How can I protect myself from being proud? Instead of feeling proud that he got the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, he became concerned that he may become proud. Mahaprabhu said, I am very impressed with you. Vasudeva leper, you are not a leper anymore. Vasudeva, I am suggesting that if you constantly chant Krishna's names, you will never become proud. So, by chanting Krishna's names, we will become humble. And if we are humble, we can chant Krishna's names better. Which comes first? I don't know. What comes first? Seed or the tree? From the tree, seeds come. From the seed, trees come. But which is first? I don't know. We don't know. From our humble mood, we'll be able to chant constantly. Our constant chanting makes us humble. Where do we begin? Not sure. Mahaprabhu said that if you constantly chant Krishna's names, you will not be proud. What is the connection between chanting and pride? How can we become humble by chanting? The conditioned souls stay in this material world because of doership mentality, because of being, because of considering themselves as doers, performers, masters, controllers, enjoyers, achievers, rulers, monarchs. Because of that independent mentality and arrogance and pride and doership mentality, people stay in this material world. That's the reason for the conditioned soul staying in this world. But the more we chant Krishna's names, Krishna, 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 the more we say these names, the more we are coming out of that self-absorption, self-infatuation, self-obsession. Instead of being overly conscious about our own abilities, our own greatness, thinking that we are the controllers and masters, we start acknowledging that Krishna is the master, Krishna is the controller, Krishna is the proprietor, Krishna is the enjoyer. So, the more we chant Krishna's names, the more we come out of that self-centeredness and try to keep Krishna in the center. Chanting Krishna's names means to invite Krishna to stay in the center of our lives, our minds, our activities. That is the significance of chanting. That's how we become humble. Keep chanting. Whenever you get time, you chant. On beats, off beats. Keep chanting. Even if you are not uttering these words, within your mind, let the mantra go on constantly. Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. When that inclination to chant constantly is there, then we will be able to develop that humility. And with that humility, we will be able to chant nicely. You know that devotee who wanted initiation from a guru? I often say this story. You know, there is one devotee in Vrindavan. He wanted diksha from a guru, initiation from a guru. So he went to Guru's ashram and said, I want diksha from you. Can you please accept me as your disciple? Then Guru asked the disciple, what qualification do you have to receive initiation from me? Are you qualified for diksha? Then this disciple asked, Gurudev, what qualification do you expect? What should be my eligibility to receive diksha from you? Then Guru said, I am giving you 24 hours time. Tomorrow by this time, you prove yourself better than at least one person in this town of Vrindavan, then I will accept you as my disciple. Oh, why 24 hours? I can do it in 24 seconds. My Guru told me to establish myself better than someone, greater than someone in this entire Vrindavan. I can easily do it. Anyways, okay Guru Maharaj, I will meet you tomorrow. He came out of Guru's ashram, found the rickshawala. Come here, take me home. Rickshawala came there. He boarded the rickshaw. On the way he thought, I think I better take this rickshawala only to my Guru tomorrow. He is inferior to me, very clear. I am greater than him, I am better than him. I am paying him money. I am giving him livelihood. He is taking me home. So I think tomorrow I will call him. Let him only take me to Guru's ashram and I will introduce this rickshawala to my Guru and say, I am better than him, give me initiation. But by the time he reached home, he thought, oh, I don't have the ability to go home on my own. This rickshawala brought me home. I may give him some money, some payment, 20 rupees, 30 rupees, 50 rupees or whatever it is. But I cannot come home with the 10 rupees or 20 rupees. I need rickshaw. I don't have rickshaw. He is bringing me home. Definitely, I should not take this Vrajavasi to my guru and tell him that I am better than him. Oh my God. Thank God. So he paid the rickshawala and wanted to go into his home, and in front of his home he found some fruit sellers and vegetable sellers, and he purchased some vegetables and thought, I think I can take this one of these vegetable sellers to my guru. Then later he thought, I don't have the ability to grow vegetables on my own. They are farmers, they are cultivating lands, they are tilling lands and getting grains and vegetables and fruits, etc. If they don't bring, I won't be able to eat every day. I can't eat my money. I think I'm dependent on them. Definitely they are not inferior to me. They're definitely better than me. Say, next 3-4 days, if they don't come here and sell vegetables, what will I eat? I can't eat. Next sabji market is like 10 kilometers ahead. So he started analyzing and he found them better than him in some way or the other. Like that whole day he is observing so many people in Vrindavan. He thought for a moment that I am better than them, but next moment he found that they are better than me in this way. So till next day morning he could not find anyone. Entire day passed. That day morning he went to pass stool, attend nature calls, and he found a worm in his own stool. And he thought, I think this worm is inferior to me at least. I could not find anybody whole day yesterday. At least this worm in stool is inferior to me. I can tell this to my Guru Maharaj. Not literally taking it to Guru, but at least informing that I found somebody. But later he thought, I am eating nice Krishna prasadam and converting into stool. Converting the delicious food into stool. That's what this third class body is doing. But this worm in the stool is so glorious that it is making a living out of it. I can't survive by eating stool, but it is able to survive. That means it's better than me. This worm in stool is better than me. So, with no answer in his head or mind, he went to Guru's ashram and said, my dear Guru, you gave me 24 hours. In the last 24 hours, I could not find a single living being, whether human being or animal or insect or bird, inferior to me. I am the most inferior. I don't find anyone inferior to me. I am not greater than anyone in the entire land of Vrindavan. I am sorry, I am not qualified for initiation. Then Guru said, this is the qualification for initiation. This mood that you have to see good in others, to see how others are better than you and not inferior to you, this mood that you have is humility, and that is the qualification for initiation or advancement in bhakti. Not that humility is qualification for initiation, and once you get initiation, you can give up that humility. Not like that. That humility is qualification not only to receive initiation from Guru, but to pass through any milestone in spiritual life, to pass through any stage in bhakti. Whether you are doing the 9 processes of bhakti like Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Padasevanam, or passing through the 9 stages of bhakti like Shraddha, Sadhusanga, Bhajana, Kriya, Anartha Nivritti, humility is required at every step, every day. Without that, we cannot chant Krishna's names. If we can't chant Krishna's names properly, how can we get Krishna Prema? To chant Krishna Nama or to get Krishna Prema, dainya or humility is mandatory. No other way, no other way, no other way. If Harinam is glorified as Harer Namaiva Kevalam, Nastyeva, Nastyeva, Nastyeva Gataranyatha, no other way, no other way, no other way. Then humility is essential to chant Krishna's names. No other way, no other way, no other way. You have to be genuinely humble. There is no limit to what we can accomplish when we have genuine humility. There is no limit. to what great heights we can reach in devotional life when we have genuine humility. In common materialistic circles, the more talented you are, the more elevated you are in the hierarchy, the more exalted you are considered by people in this world. But in spiritual world, the more you consider low, the more you consider yourself low, the more Krishna considers you significant. That's why Kulashekara says, Tad bhritya bhritya paricharaka bhritya bhritya bhrityasya bhritya itimam smara lokanatha. Please consider me as the servant of 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 your servants. 7 times he says. You can add 7 more or 70 more or 7,000 more. Lord says, my devotees are dear to me. If there is anyone more dear to me than my devotee, they are devotees of my devotees. Servant position is the greatest position in the spiritual world. Krishna dasa abhimanaye ananda sindhu koti brahma sukhana he tara eka bindu. The conception or the emotion or the position of being a servant of Krishna immerses us in an ocean of bliss, ocean of ananda, that in comparison to that bliss, even Brahmananda multiplied by 10 million times is insignificant. Koti Brahma Sukhana he Tara Eka Bindu. That's why we need to become servants of the servants of the servants of the Lord. Vritrasura, he prays. Aham hare tava padaika mula dasanudaso bhavitasmi bhuya manah smareta supate gunam ste granitava karma karotu kaya. Aham hare tava padaika mula dasanudaso bhavitasmi bhuya. Let me become servant of the servant of your servants, O Lord. This is the prayer of Vritrasura just before going to Vaikuntha. Service means being flexible according to the expectations of Master. The Supreme Lord, Krishna, may expect us to do some service. Without any reservations, let's extend ourselves to do that service. That's an aspect of humility. For example, Hanumanji is considered one of the supreme servants. He's given as the best example of Dasya. So Hanumanji rendered service to Lord Ramachandra. He lifts big boulders for the construction of Ramasetu. Hanumanji also jumps across the Lanka ocean and finds Sita Devi. When Ram and Lakshman faint in Ramayana, in the war, Lanka war, Hanumanji goes to Himalayas and brings this Sanjeevani mountain to revive them. How much service he has done. Tremendous amount of seva he has done, Hanumanji. But what was the service given to Hanumanji in Mahabharata? Such an accomplished warrior in Ramayana. When it came to Mahabharata, Hanumanji was asked to sit on the flag of Arjuna. Keep blessing him. That's all. Ashirvad. Hanuman, this is your post. This no more required. All Ramayana, all this dishim is over in Ramayana only. So for you now, bless your Bhima, brother, bless Arjuna. Krishna sitting there. Hanumanji never said, I am such a talented warrior, I am such an accomplished warrior, did so much service to you. Is this the role you are giving me, insignificant role you are giving me in Mahabharata war? Just allow me to fight with this Duryodhan, Dushasan, Karna, Sagni. No fight also. I will trample them under their feet. They will become Tranadapi Sanichena. Right? But Krishna said, sufficient. No other role, are you sure? Yeah, one more role is there for you. What is that? Bhima roars when he becomes angry, you join him and roar along with him. That's all. Sometimes we think that it's below our dignity to perform some service. I am such a celebrated personality, and then they are giving me such insignificant role to play. Sometimes we think so. But any small role or big role in Krishna's service, devotee doesn't have any reservations, right? Devotee doesn't identify oneself with certain position or designation under the umbrella of Krishna's service. They identify themselves as servants. Service can change, but service attitude will not change. The mode of being a servant doesn't change. Service can change according to time, place, circumstances. So Hanumanji accepted his service. Sanatana Goswami, we began Sanatana Goswami and I got diverted with some other topics. Sanatana Goswami, once he came to Jagannath Puri. And at Puri, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Sanatana Goswami, he told someone, call Sanatana Goswami, he is there in Haridas Thakur's hut. Call him here, I want to meet him. It was in the afternoon time. It was extremely hot, summer that day. So Sanatana Goswami, as soon as he heard that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is calling him, he immediately ran to that place and reached Mahaprabhu and met him. Then Mahaprabhu asked him, Sanatana Goswami, how did you come so fast? He said, I came via that sandy beach. You came via sandy beach? It is so hot and it's middle of the afternoon. Sun is like shining. Sun is showering his complete mercy on us. And you don't have even shoes also to wear. You are walking on that hot sand, so hot that you must be having blisters on your feet. Sometimes when the land becomes very hot, in GV we can see, you don't need a tawa, dosa maar sakte. Right, on the hot floor only you can make dosas. That's how hot it can become in some places. Right? We went to Jagannath Puri, maybe 2023 I think. In hot summer we had to walk barefoot just from that, you cross the road, there's a market, right? From there to that queue. My God, we could not walk, a few of us. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was concerned about Sanatana Goswami's feet. There must be blisters on your feet. Why did you not come via Simhadwar path? It's a shady area. Here, even if you don't have chappal, no problem. You could have managed in that route. Why did you come via that route? Then Sanatana Goswami said, my dear Lord, you called me. I was so eager to meet you. Therefore I came. I did not even realize that I got some blisters on my feet. I did not realize that there is some hot sand also there. That's fine. Sometimes we are very excited. Then we may not even realize we are experiencing some pain also. So Mahaprabhu said, why did you not come by a Simhadwar path? He said, near that Simhadwar, so many pujaris of Lord Jagannath ji are moving. So I may accidentally touch them and all this diseased body and my contaminated consciousness could affect them. But they must go to the altar in a very pure state, pure physical state and pure mental state. If they see me or if they touch me, they'll get contaminated. Therefore, I wanted to avoid that path and come by this sandy beach. Nobody will be there at this time. That is his humility. He thought that by seeing him or touching him, the pujaris of Jagannath will get contaminated. And before even that, he thought that Mahaprabhu called me. I got a call from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I am so fortunate. Although he is having regular association, daily association of Lord Chaitanya, and Lord Chaitanya is personally coming to the place where Sanatana Goswami is there practically every single day to discuss with him and Haridas Thakur. Just that one call of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu made Sanatana Goswami so grateful and so excited and so eager that he did not even realize that where he is walking and he just ran to Mahaprabhu. That requires humility. When we are humble, we value every single opportunity that we get in bhakti. When we are arrogant, we say, what is this opportunity? I have better opportunities. Even to render a small service to the Lord, or even to have darshan of the Lord, or visit a dham, or come to a temple, or wear tilak, or associate with Vaishnavas, We should never think that we are qualified for these privileges. We should never take these privileges for granted. If we take opportunity to serve Krishna for granted, then the opportunities will not be granted to us anymore. We should never take any opportunity to serve Krishna for granted. We should never think that we are overqualified to do any service. We should never think that any service is below my dignity to offer, below my position to offer. If you think so, we lack in Vaishnava humility. If we lack in Vaishnava humility, we cannot chant Krishna's names. If we can't chant Krishna's names, we can't get Krishna Prema. Even if you are so accomplished in 100 different ways, there is no Prema, there is no Nama, there is no Dainya. Where is Bhakti? It's not worth running behind any accomplishment at the cost of compromising on our Vaishnava humility. And by the way, humility, as I said, is not self-pity. Humility is not to allow oneself to get exploited by others unnecessarily. So we need to be humble. At the same time, we need to have great enthusiasm and excitement to serve the Lord. Humility is not to maintain a low profile. Somebody asks you, please do this service. I'm very humble. I cannot do. I'm not qualified. Don't ask me. Ask someone else. He's qualified. He's qualified. Of course, they are qualified, but we are asking you to do. I'm not qualified. Humility is not to reject a service in the name of not being qualified for it. We will never be qualified to do any service. We are not qualified to do anything. Our qualification is Krishna's mercy, Prabhupada's mercy. That's our qualification. What qualification do we have to do any service? Whether to hear class or speak class, whether to read or write, whether to worship the deities or cook prasadam, bhoga for the Lord, or associate with devotees. What qualification do we have? If you think we deserve it, if you think we are qualified for it, that's a disqualification, right? So we don't take up any service or we don't lead any service for Krishna thinking that we are qualified for it. We accept a service to Guru or Krishna or Vaishnavas just with an understanding that Krishna's mercy is greater than my disqualification. Humbly accept mercy. If you think you are qualified and accept it, there is no humility there. If you think you are not qualified and still you accept this grace like a beggar, then that is humility. If you reject that opportunity, think I am not qualified, then also you missed an opportunity to be humble. Of course, there are situations where you may not be able to accept. That's fine. But whether you are accepting or not accepting, if your mood is humility, then that is compatible with bhakti. Whether you accept or reject, if the mood is not humility, mood is arrogance, then that is incompatible with the core aspects of bhakti. This is a small particle of a drop of the oceanic descriptions of humility given in our scriptures. I'll end here. Tulsi Aarti is about to begin. If you have any question in the next few minutes, 5 minutes we have? Yes.
Harekrishna, Gauranga Darshan. My question is, in material life, how do you strike that balance between remaining humble and not being used like a doormat for people to walk all over you?
That's why I concluded by saying humility is not to allow oneself to get exploited. Draupadi Mata, she was being disrobed. She was being insulted in public by Duryodhana, Dushasan, that evil Karna, Shakuni, inspiring and instigating them. Dhritarashtra, sanctioning, yes, let it happen. Such an auspicious activity should happen in our assembly. He is physically blind, he is mentally blind also. Therefore, he is allowing that to happen. So, Draupadi tried to protect herself in 100 different ways. She tried to beg for justice in front of Bhishma, Drona, Dhritarashtra, Vidura, so many people. But everybody had their own obligations. Some people had to become slaves, like Pandavas became slaves, so-called slaves. And this Bhishma, Drona, Vidura, they are obedient to the king's instruction. Although they have their common sense, they have their perspective of the situation, but they are very humble in front of Dhritarashtra. Whatever king says, we have to follow. That's their obligation. Whatever may be the case, nobody could protect Draupadi. Still, Draupadi is trying to protect herself with her own strength. Her logic did not protect, her context did not protect, her strength also could not protect her. She has her fragile hands, and this Dushasan has hands which are like 10,000 elephants put together. Still, why Draupadi is trying to protect herself till the last moment. Finally, she raised her hands and said, Govinda, please come and protect me. And Krishna came in the form of sari and protected her. But why is she doing it? Is she not humble? Let Dushasana or Duryodhana or whoever let her insult. After all, I am supposed to be humble. I should not retaliate. I should remember Amrish Maharaj. Durvasa is trying to kill Amrish Maharaj. Amrish Maharaj did not do anything. She was not thinking like that. Her consciousness is this body, this mind, these senses, whatever I have, whatever I am, everything belongs to Krishna. So protecting the sanctity of this body is my responsibility. Humbly protecting what Krishna has given me is my responsibility. So she is humbly trying to protect herself. Whether Draupadi tried to protect herself by praying or by strength or by whatever logic, she is humble. When Yudhishthira Maharaj, Arjuna, Bhima, all these Pandavas fought against Duryodhana, Dushasan and got their kingdom, they did it out of humility. Humility is not to keep quiet when injustice is happening. Humility means fighting for justice. Of course, on a personal plane, you may tolerate inconveniences when they are reasonable inconveniences, smaller inconveniences. But if someone is behaving with us in very nasty ways, very unmentionable ways, in the name of humility and tolerance, we can't keep quiet. When you have the responsibility and ability to correct injustice, keeping quiet is not humility. If you have the responsibility and ability to counteract injustice, in the name of humility, you can't just keep quiet. If you don't have the ability, that's a different thing. If it is not within your circle of your responsibility, okay, that also may be fine. But you have the responsibility to correct something. You have the ability. Krishna has given you the intelligence and strength and resources to do it. Still, in the name of humility, let me not do it. That is not humility. Right? On a personal plane, you may tolerate. If there is a mistake on your part, of course you may tolerate. Out of humility, you may accept a severe punishment for a small mistake, that's fine. If there is no mistake on your part, and especially when your silence is affecting 100 other people, then you have to stand up for it. Humility is to uphold truth. Humility is to fight for what is right according to Guru, Sadhu and Shastra. Humility is to defend the honor of Parampara. He is not humble, he is arguing to establish his Siddhanta. Not my Siddhanta, it is Krishna's Siddhanta. It is Parampara Siddhanta. If you have the ability and knowledge and some experience to establish that Siddhanta, when somebody is demeaning it, and if I keep quiet in the name of humility, then I am not actually being humble. I am being self-conscious. Right? Does it make sense? Thank you very much. Thank you for humbly tolerating me for last 1 hour. Thank you very much. Grathra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.